Coming up on this episode of The Tech, Will I Am is going to be a guest host. You heard right, Will I Am.
I think we're actually going to name him the new official host. Let's talk about Twitter's IPO. But first, before we do that, let's spam you guys with some information. Thank you guys for grabbing the t-shirts. The new Zweihander album is doing awesome. We made it to number 2 on Bandcamp with the new Zweihander album. So I want to say thanks to everybody for picking that up. We have a contest going on right now with Linus where you can win a graphics card, headset, keyboard, mouse, and power supply. So click on the screen right here to check out that contest. And say thanks to Linus and Slick and all of the guys out in Canada. Twitter IPO was this week, and the price shot straight up through the roof. Patrick Stewart was having a really hell of a good day. Here's him celebrating with Ian McKellen. So let's talk for just a minute about the Twitter IPO. Now, Wendell, do you think Twitter is going to continue to go up? I mean, it's already started to settle back down. It hit 47, and now it's back down to 41. But it started at 26 and shot right up. So it made some people some money in the first days. Do you think that it's going to, that it could go up? Or what do you think the future of the Twitter stock holds?
Well, it's interesting because they opened at 26, but they immediately shot up past 40. And so there were a lot of pundits and analysts that are saying, well, you know, they left money on the table because it didn't open high enough. They made a critical mistake. But I don't think that's true. I think what we've got on our hands is another bubble. And I think probably 25, 26 may be about right for the Twitter stock valuation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it sort of dip under that and go under that. It's hard for me to understand what the product is. And, you know, if you read some of the writings from Warren Buffett is like, I don't ever invest in any company I don't understand. And I'm not really sure. I don't like the idea of companies where their users are the product. So I'm not really sure how Twitter plans to actually make a lot of money long term.
That's the other thing that kind of worries me about this is because, you know, Twitter, I don't know if they've even made that much money, and they haven't done that many things to generate money. I mean, they've just kind of been a service, and they've kind of been growing and growing and growing. And I feel like now that they're a publicly traded company, there may be more pressure on Twitter to start doing some Facebook and LinkedIn style shenanigans where they really, really use their users as a product even more than they already do. Because, I mean, let's face it, you go on any social media site, and 9 times out of 10, you're the product. And you'll see this because your information, I mean, even on Google+, they're using your freaking face to sell their product. So that's the thing that worries me. It may transform Twitter over time. Not initially, but maybe sometime in the future we'll see quite a different Twitter because they're busy struggling to make money to keep their stock price high enough. But I don't see how I can stay up.
I think Twitter would be more effective if I could subscribe to somebody and they would only tweet when it was important. That would be cool. Like, you know, when EVGA is going to put something on sale for $200 off and it was the only time they tweeted, that would be insanely handy.
Google Plus now on YouTube. You know, you and I were talking about this off the air, and you said you don't exactly have a problem with what Google is trying to do. Is that correct, or am I misquoting?
Yes. Yeah, we sort of were talking about it, and, you know, there's a lot of vitriol. One of the YouTube founders, you know, they haven't done anything with their account in 8 years, and he posted a comment, something to the effect of, why the heck do I need a Google Plus account to
I don't think he used the word heck. He was a bit angry. He sounded a bit angry. But yeah, like, why does he have to use a Google Plus account to comment on YouTube? So what's your take on that? I mean, how do you feel?
We have no one to blame but ourselves. I mean, if you just randomly select any video on YouTube, like just go to the YouTube homepage, randomly click a video, the comments are almost entirely swill.
Okay, well, you get first, you get second, you get the first post is insert your own name here, ethnic slur, whatever, insert there, and then you get just random guys that show up and write nutsack and then disappear forever. And that's it. That's their comment. And it's like a video on, like, you know, the scientific exploration of Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, and then so they're trying to get rid of that. But on the other side, my problem with this is that they are forcing it upon the public. They're not giving the public a choice, and that's always kind of weird. I mean, like, if you look back through history, and a lot of the biggest websites out there, they create something. In Google, when they first got started, they created something, and they didn't shove it down anybody's throat. They just created it, left it alone, and people started using it. Now they have their audience by the head, and they are like, over here. It's like, please come over here. And they've been doing this with Google Plus just, you know, as a whole. Like if you have a Gmail account, all of a sudden, Google Plus, every time you log in, Google Plus, every time you log into YouTube, hey, use your real name, man. It's like they're completely forcing you.
Okay, we'll ask again later.
And now they're like, you know what, we're tired of asking. It's mandatory. So I've had some people that are trying to join the Linus and Tech Syndicate, Linus Media Group and Tech Syndicate contest, and they can't comment because they don't want to use a Google Plus account. They're like, I'm sorry, I can't comment on YouTube anymore because I don't want Google Plus. I really don't want it. It's like, they feel like it's like, I don't want MySpace. Some people have been saying like they're likening it to MySpace. They're like, why should I have to have MySpace?
I really think it should be okay to have aliases on Google Plus as well. In fact, I think Google should give you the option of having an unlimited number of aliases so that you can wear as many hats as you want, because that would give you a modicum of privacy while still letting you participate. And Google still knows exactly who you are, which is what they need for advertising purposes. So I think that cuts both ways. It gives them monetarily what they want from an advertising perspective, but it gives people at least a little bit of privacy from the people that they're interacting with, which is something.
Well, I mean, people are doing it anyway. I mean, they're going on, and you can. It says that you're required to use your real name. People are not doing that. They're making up names. They're making up whatever. I've seen Chewbacca. I've seen, Bob Vila. I've seen Obama like 50 times. I've seen Larry Page about 300 times. I've seen
Chevy Chase is one of the people that follow
Chevy
our
Chase,
videos.
Gabe Newell, and all these people. A lot of them are commenting right now. It's like, holy crap! Bill Cosby, Gabe Newell, and Chevy Chase all watch our videos. This is amazing.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
So people are doing it anyway, and it just makes it. It's just a mess right now. So my biggest problem is I think Google is forcing people to do this, and that's wrong. To force an audience to do something, you have to just make it so good that we can't resist. And then people that do resist, they don't want it. Leave them alone. That's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I really can't disagree with that. But at the same time, I'm not sure what else they would do to try to cull the swill comments other than, because it's so easy to troll. And I think that Google thinks that trolling in general will go away if there's less anonymity, from person to person. But I think that that's probably a net negative result. Like, I don't mind a little trolling if it's, because there's too many negative side effects of having exactly one online identity.
Well, I think our audience is pretty decent in the sense that whenever someone does come on and troll, or whenever someone does come on and, repeat something ridiculous, they usually get downvoted to oblivion and yelled at, and the community usually responds with a giant hammer. So
yes. That does happen on our videos, which is really nice.
Well, also our like-to-dislike ratio might be the best on YouTube, and you guys are freaking awesome for that, so everybody is probably going to click dislike now to prove us wrong.
Except those 8 people that always dislike videos as soon as it comes out, they haven't even watched it, and it's like, dislike. It's like, really?
Yeah, no, the 30-minute video has been online for 8 seconds, and they are like right on top of the thing refreshing to wait. That's what they do. This is what I think of the people that dislike us. I know that they have no lives, and they just sit there refreshing the page because their entire life revolves around disliking our videos. That's the mental image I have of them.
I have in my head that some of the dislikes are like, no, I really enjoy the NSA spying on everything or whatever.
Yeah, the dislikes are more likely members of the NSA and different different Congress critters that we ridicule. Whatever flavor we're ridiculing this week, that's who it is. All right, now let's go to a bad marketing news segment. Intel, what on earth are you doing? Listen, I've got an Intel CPU in my computer. It's going to stay in my computer, but what on earth are you doing? They have named will.i.am of the Black Eyed Peas as their creative director, or the director of creative innovation. So they've got him up here on stage. If anybody can sit through this 6-minute and 29-second video, you're a masochist. It's incredibly difficult to get through. It's incredibly awkward. will.i.am, I had to skip around a little bit, and I think I may have seen the entire thing now in like a few segments, but I had to go take a break and then come back to it. The dude, I mean, he's cool. He makes his music. He's not a nerd. He says he's not a nerd. And then at one point in this, I mean, this is Intel, right? He's on the stage at an Intel event. He mentions rendering and then stops himself and says he's sorry, he's getting a little too geeky or something like that, or he doesn't want to, geek out too much on everybody. Okay, number one, rendering is geeky these days. Okay, so I didn't know that. And number two, It's a freaking Intel event. It's okay to geek out, and you're now the creative director thing of innovative creativity overlord stuff.
He also kept calling the processor a core.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand what you're doing, Intel. But you know something? I think a lot of this goes back to his childhood. Because Intel discovered him at a very early age. And in fact, we have secured some video footage of Intel saving him from a rabid dog. And since then, they've taken him under their wing. And even though he's gone off into the entertainment world and kind of strayed away from home, he's now back, and they're giving him an honorary title. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video here where Intel actually discovers Will.i.am.
Hey kid,
What?
I'm a computer.
I don't know much about computers other than the one we got in my house. My mom put a couple games on there and I played.
So yeah, that was actual footage that we obtained of Intel's first meeting with Will.i.am. He's changed a bit, and Intel is a bit more sophisticated than that now. I'm a computer. That was back in the late 70s, early 80s, I believe.
My prediction is that they're gonna have him. They're gonna have Will.i.am snowboarding down a mountain in about 3 months.
Hey man,
Because that makes as much sense. I mean,
man, there's a lot of bad marketing going on these days. Have you seen the new Virgin American safety video?
Turn your electrical devices off as fast as you can. Don't make me ask you again.
it's a complete ripoff. Now, my favorite is the lab safety video, but there's the original safety video, and it is not better than the original safety video.
No, they should have just used the Men Without Hats video, and then it would have been just great. You know, the new Virgin
If
thing.
they parodied the Men Without Hats video, it's like, you know, Men Without Seatbelts or something.
That would have been a good idea. All I'm going to say about this is that, you know, in America especially, they go crazy about security, and you're not allowed to carry. Even like people that, like paleontologists was carrying a bone onto a plane. They're like, you can't carry that onto a plane. This is more of a safety hazard, in my opinion. Anyone with a brain that jumps on an airplane and has to sit through this more than once is going to go completely nuts. And that's not the kind of situation you want on a plane. I'm just going to move on from this. Let's talk about Microsoft for a minute. I just wanted to mention this almost in passing, but Android every year generates $2 billion for Microsoft, thanks to all the different patents. So that's probably one of the main reasons that Microsoft hasn't been chasing Android around, because they're making so much money on Android. Even if the Windows phones completely fail, they're still going to be making around $2 billion a year just from Android.
Yay, patent licensing, I suppose.
Also, the Microsoft Web Apps, they get real-time co-editing. So now it's going to be more like Google Drive. Google Drive, how many years have they been doing this for? Like 4 or 5 years now?
3 or 4.
40
I don't think it's
years.
quite that long. It's been a while.
Yeah. So now the functionality is going to be in Microsoft Web Apps, and I mean, we're seeing a lot of this. Microsoft's kind of going in this direction. We see what they're doing right now. They're going into a direction of things existing outside of your own computer and things existing on the cloud, and now they're adding collaborative options from somewhere out there in the cloud, the magical cloud. If you're in Australia, you guys have been complaining about the internet speeds down there. Microsoft is actually on your side. It's very strange. I mean, we had Rupert Murdoch down there essentially trying to sabotage the election and shut off the internet. But Microsoft has been urging the NBN review to reconsider the high-speed fiber. And they've actually got people down there, I suppose lobbyists, going in and whispering in their ear, please, we need fiber in this country. We've got a lot of interest in this country, and we greatly need this fiber. I can see Google doing something like this
Microsoft's
too.
managing director has told AAP that the Abbott government should rethink its existing plan to cut the fiber to the premises rollout in favor of a largely fiber to the node scheme. And so the last bit of news about Microsoft is Internet Explorer has got a new mascot. So Microsoft posted to YouTube a video of the new mascot for Internet Explorer, and it's best summed up by the Next Web article here. It says, well, that was unexpected. Microsoft posted a video on its Internet Explorer YouTube channel today personifying its popular browser anime heroine. Bizarrely, she's also the new official mascot for IE. You should go watch that right now and be disturbed. She's,
very
she's
disturbing.
actually on loan from Dr. Krieger of ISIS Advanced Research.
Back to the internet. Los Angeles is planning to bring fiber internet to 3.5 million residents, and this is a little bit different than the way they did in Provo. In Provo, they a lot of it was done at a municipal level, or the city did it. Here in Los Angeles, what they're going to do is they're going to compel the ISPs to do it themselves, and they're going to make them, fit the bill for this as well. They're going to say, "Oh, this is going to cost a few $1 billion," but the city's not going to pay for it. The ISPs are going to pay for it, and we're going to make them do it. So, how do you feel about this approach?
Mississippi did something similar, and their largest city, the Mississippi's going to roll out gigabit fiber to 9 cities simultaneously, and their largest city is 200,000, 200,000 to 300,000, something like that. And the way that they're doing it is similar in that they solicited a lot of bids, and they're going to let commercial companies deal with it. And so this initiative could work, but as dysfunctional as everything is in LA, I have my doubts.
Yeah, that's the biggest doubt, is the state of things in Los Angeles. Be cool if it does work out, but who knows? And then there's going to be a lot of regulations that are going to need to be in place, because even if they do tell these companies to do it, they're going to yell and scream and whine and complain, and they're going to try to manipulate the system in any way they can. They're going to look for loopholes. They're going to try to force bundles upon people, like, well, okay, fine, we'll run fiber, but anybody that gets fiber is also going to have quadruple play. It's our new thing that also includes a bidet, and you have to pay $600 a month for a bidet on your porch. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. This DMCA notice from Office Depot is so old now, I kind of want to close it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
Office Depot sent a DMCA, and their lawyer obviously knew better. Shame on you, Office Depot.
Yeah. Speaking of DMCAs, let's take a look at FullScreenMario.com. Now, FullScreenMario.com was pretty much a remake of Mario, the first Mario, and you could play the original 32 levels. There was a random map generator, level editor, all kinds of things, and Nintendo took it down.
Well, the point of it was that it was a demonstration of the capabilities of HTML5, and I understand. I think this is we mentioned this not because Nintendo was wrong to take it down. I mean, the way that copyright law works is that Nintendo has to assert their rights, and so we understand that. But we wanted to mention this because it's not necessarily a black or white issue, and this message goes out to you, Nintendo. Nintendo, you can be a cool company. You could have handled this differently. You could have licensed the 30-year-old IP to this guy for like $1 a year or $2 a year, made it all nice and legal and kosher, and that would have been a better approach for your lawyers than what happened.
All the companies out there need to learn from this sort of thing, because this, while it may be the correct legal practice, is going to be incredibly bad for business when it comes to PR. So why don't your PR people and you get some young nerds off the street, bring them in there, get your PR people, and get your lawyers all in a room together, and then slay the lawyers. I was going to say let them talk it out, but no, just let them slay the lawyers, and then everything will be fine. Oh, Minnesota calls in the feds on Prenda.
Yeah. In the ongoing Prenda Schadenfreude circus, yet another judge has called in the feds on Prenda.
You guys can read this article if you guys care about Prenda. We talk about Prenda a lot, but I think it's just hilarious. What the hell is going on with Bitcoin? I thought Bitcoin was kind of on the way back down, and now it's like up. It hit $305.
Well, Silk Road
absurd.
2.0 launched, and there's some bad things happening in India, and right now it's $370 a coin, down from a high of $395.
My God. I think I had a few Bitcoins way back when it first started. And I remember we saw the article about the guy who had just a few Bitcoins. I think it was a Norwegian guy. And then all of a sudden he discovered that he had several $100,000. I wonder if something like that's going. Because I had some back in the day. I mined some Bitcoins like way back when I was living in New York. I wonder if I still have those somewhere. I should look for that.
You probably do. Well, in the tip jar, we've got like 3 Bitcoins.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Thank you guys very much. We do have a Bitcoin tip jar on the website, all the way at the bottom. If you guys look at it, you can throw some Bitcoins in there. Shopify is also getting Bitcoins very soon.
and they have thousands of stores. And so if you have a store through Shopify, you can you can take Bitcoin, and they'll deal with it.
The shopping cart modules that are all out there on the internet, the ones that you can just plug into your WordPress or plug into your Drupal site, those all need Bitcoin, like immediately. So guys out there working on open source shopping cart modules, guys out there working on commercial e-commerce packages.
The feds are basically approving Bitcoin for campaign finance, so the Antichrist is upon us. Repent, repent, I say. The rapture is near.
So I thought the feds were going to shut down Bitcoins, but now
that it's going to be used for campaign finance, it might be okay.
Hey, if we get the money, you know. And it's really hard to trace. Is this correct? I've heard that they used it on the Silk Road, and that was pretty hard to trace. So, I think it's an ideal system for them because they really don't want people to know where all the money comes from.
So whether you support Megatron or Cthulhu, you'll be able to support them monetarily with your Bitcoins in the next election.
You heard it here. So the NSA and the Intelligence Committee and just everything, we've talked about everything so far, and they all have access to your data. But what about the CIA? You know, the old school CIA where all the movies were made about all the guys, you know, jumping out of boats and shooting diplomats and that sort of thing. What about the CIA? Well, let's talk about the CIA. This is alleged, but allegedly they're giving AT&T around $10 million a year to assist with overseas correspondences, meaning that AT&T will turn over records to the CIA for $10 million. And the CIA is not legally allowed to spy on citizens of the United States of America. That's a very interesting thing there.
But they can buy your phone records just like everybody else.
Yeah, well, if you're calling out of the country, then all of a sudden they have your phone records. So that's the weird part here, is that they are not allowed to mess with U.S. citizens. But what about this? I mean, isn't that them spying? I mean, if they're buying phone records from people who are calling out of the country, and what if that person's a citizen? Isn't that a violation of what the CIA is supposed to be doing?
Well, the NSA is not allowed to spy on American citizens either, but then you throw terrorists out there, then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, it's cool, it's legal, it's fine.
Oh, I forgot that we're all terrorists. How did I forget that?
If you live within 100 miles of the U.S. border, you have no constitutional Fourth Amendment rights. You know, that's something that they've said. So why is this surprising?
Yeah, if you are anywhere near the border, guys, just know that there are cameras everywhere taking pictures of your license plate. They want to know who's coming and going and what you're doing. So they know when you go buy bread. They know when they know everywhere you are. Also, in the UK, a senior Whitehall official is saying that Edward Snowden is helping pedophiles.
Well, you know that we're in trouble when they've hauled out, will no one think of the children?
That's like the first thing that they always go to over in the UK, because, you know, people get outraged and they yell and they scream, and right when they think it's like at a fever pitch and everyone's going to come and kill them with pitchforks, they're like, wait a minute, he's helping pedophiles. And everyone's like, how do you respond to that? It's like, are you allowed to respond to that? It's like
that's what that argument is designed to do. That argument is designed to, you know, at that point, rational debate is no longer an option, and that's exactly what that's designed to do. But I would argue that we've forgotten how to take risks, and the risk of, you know, being blown up is so small versus having to go through all this rigmarole to deal with, you know, quote unquote terrorists is insane. And it's going to be used for espionage. It's going to be used for political opponents. It's going to be used to oppress the citizenry one day if it's not already happening. So why bother building the apparatus? It's too dangerous.
You're more likely to be killed by a refrigerator. You're more likely to be killed in a dining accident. How would you like that on your tombstone? Died in a dining accident. So
the other thing that's happening here in the States is the officials that are involved in this are saying, oh, people that are associated with Snowden, you know, they're probably not trustworthy, and so they're being let go or being investigated or being put on paid leave or whatever. There's a couple of reports of that type of thing happening, and it's people that were connected to Snowden. They're also saying that Snowden socially engineered passwords out of people in order to get some of the documents, but it's completely unsubstantiated. It's probably part of a larger smear campaign. Even if not, does it really make sense that we demonize the person that's reporting hideously illegal things while simultaneously doing nothing about the hideously illegal things? And you know, the commentary from the with Dianne Feinstein. It's like,
Oh, good Feinstein.
oh, I think we talked about that last week, but it was just like, oh, if he just, come to the Senate. And it's like either the Senate knew it was going on and did nothing, which is horrible, or they didn't know it was going on and it was running unchecked. And we do have that FISA court ruling that said what they were doing was illegal and unconstitutional, that was unsealed, and yet it continued anyway. So I'm not really sure that Snowden probably saw these things and was like, probably saw, Drake and the other people that were being persecuted for trying to use, I don't even.
Speaking of Drake, we interviewed Drake, we interviewed Bruce Schneer. I wanted to take just one quick moment here to welcome a shill from the government to our website. You're totally welcome to come onto the website and say whatever you like. So he's here and he's got this nice, eloquently written piece on our website. Do they not have dictionaries in government offices?
It's not really coherent, but it's kind of lol.
Yeah, it's fun. I think there's a comment here. Oh, that's you commenting.
It's like what's Bruce Schneer's motivation? And it's like, I don't know, like not being an asshole.
So anyway, this is a fun read. I'm not sure if I would click on these links or not, though, guys. I don't think I trust these links enough. I wouldn't click on any of these links, but I'm going to leave it up here for fun.
They certainly didn't follow the first thing that you learn in English 101 in college, which is, your introduction and your points that you want to make and a conclusion. This is a solid writing style. This is an example of how not to do that.
Let's talk about hardware and let's combine it with science, because this week it's going to work out that way, okay? The first thing I want to mention is that this review, if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I've got a 780 Ti, and it's quite impressive. So just click on the screen and you can see the video for the 780 Ti. So the the guys at GameStop have put together an amazing bundle that's available almost now. Like in a couple days it'll be available. So you get the PS4, you get the iCamera, and you also get a 12-month Xbox Live membership card with your PlayStation 4. This is
wait, what?
Awesome.
You mean I can use my old Xbox Live points with the PS4? That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Sony should totally do that.
I didn't even know this, but yeah, of course, Xbox Live now works on PlayStation 4. I think
brilliant.
What we do not know about this, and I think what's really happened here is that GameStop has jumped the gun and made an announcement that the Xbox One has been canceled and all of the Xbox One games are now coming out for PS4. That's what really is going on here, and this is a correct advertisement. GameStop just released this information before Microsoft announced that they're just giving up on consoles. That's my spin. I want to show you guys some really interesting games on Kickstarter that I've been checking out. So how about another game from the creators of Myst and Riven? We do not have enough games coming out like this. There's not enough thinking puzzle games. This one should be pretty beautiful, especially if it's made today by today's standards, but up to their standards as well. So check out Abduction. Another one I think is pretty damn cool is Scale. Did you see the video on Scale, Wendell?
Scale looks really interesting. I actually want to play that.
Scale is a first-person puzzle game, and you have a gun, and I guess it's kind of like the Portal gun because it's a gun that's thrown into a puzzle first-person game that I have not seen before. So maybe it's kind of like it in that way. I'm trying to stretch and say it's like Portal, even though it's totally not. Anyway, this gun, you can shoot it at things and make them larger or smaller. And in the video, you'll see him shooting the moon to make it larger and smaller to control the tides. So therefore, he can get on a boat and float somewhere. So that could be kind of interesting.
It is a really interesting game mechanic.
And the last one that I wanted to mention, and I think that this may be a game that you are going to really enjoy, Wendell, The Mandate. Now, The Mandate is a space game. And I know everyone's got their hopes way up for Star Citizen, but this one has a slightly different focus. If you guys watch the video here on Kickstarter, the developers say that they have looked at all the space games that have been coming out and then sat down and watched a lot of the space, I guess the space media, the space shows, the space movies that really inspire all of these games, like Star Trek and Firefly and that sort of thing. And they said that the thing that is really missing from a lot of them is the emphasis on crew, the personalities of the crew. So they're going to try to shift the emphasis toward that. And if they pull it off, that could be really interesting, allowing you to control and interact with your crew members. So I would definitely check that one out. This is something that I'm going to throw some money at and get my digital download copy and PDF concept artwork book and all that sort of thing.
I definitely like the concept, but I would love to know more about the team because this is going to take some serious technical chops to pull off.
All right, I'm going to cut out the PlayStation 4 teardown video. Unless you guys really want to see it, there's a PlayStation 4 teardown video that's kind of interesting. If you're interested in the PlayStation and just want to see what the guts look like, go ahead and check out the video. It's a well-made video by Sony. So that's it. Feel free to subscribe if you like. I'm not going to come to your house and force you like Google does. I'll just, every time you log on, I'm just going to...
ask again later?
Yeah, I'm going to ask again every time.
I'm going to ask again later until you're 300 years old and you die.
And then one day you're going to log on and be like, and it's just going to say, like, you're not allowed to watch these videos unless you're subscribed. And that's when the videos are going to get really good. So you're going to have to. No. All right, guys, click on all kinds of links and stuff. And anything else we were missing?
That's it. It's a pretty good episode.
This is a great episode. This laptop is so slow that I'm going to murder it later, but you guys won't see that in editing. Oh God! Like maybe I should put a whole like outtakes section at the end of this. It's just going to be me just like giving this laptop the death glare because the CPU in this cannot handle what I'm trying to do. Like opening up 50 tabs. Like you guys always mention, how the hell do you open up 50 tabs? I don't anymore because I upgraded my laptop. All right, that's enough of this. I'll see you guys whenever.
Felis catus is your taxonomic nomenclature, an endothermic quadruped, carnivorous by nature. Your visual, olfactory, and auditory senses contribute to your hunting skills and natural defenses. I find myself intrigued by your subvocal oscillations, a singular development of cat communications that obviates your basic hedonistic predilection for a rhythmic stroking of your fur to demonstrate affection. A tail is quite essential for your acrobatic talents. You would be not so agile if you lacked its counterbalance. And when not being utilized to aid in locomotion, it often serves to illustrate the state of your emotion. Oh, Spot, the complex levels of behavior you display connote a fairly well-developed cognitive array, and though you are not sentient and do not comprehend, I nonetheless consider you a true and valued friend.
Mr. Data. That's pretty good.